Evening, Kenneth. It's midnight now, and you know what? It's so hot down here. I don't know what it's like up there, but it's so hot. Um, it's midnight, yet it feels like 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That is what it feels like. It's like about around 30 degrees down here, and I opened my windows up, my kitchen windows, my living room windows. I've opened the fridge and the freezer door because that's another smart thing to do when it's too hot. As usually, that usually how it matters. You leave the fridge and freezer, or if it's one door or 2 doors, leaving that open. Not obviously leaving it all day or whatever, just every now and again, or maybe for an odd hour, or maybe a couple of hours. So that's sort of another thing I've done, but it's even that, I mean, it's wow, it's just so hot, so hot. It feels like there's a million. I feel like I'm laying on my sofa, but I feel like I'm laying on the beach. That's what it feels like. It's a bit too hot. In your message you've sent me, you've asked what did I mean about the comments about it's been 10 years. Well, as you know, every day we get a reminder of what we did on this date. I mean, what we posted on our profile, or what somebody else posted on our profile on this date, this time last year, or the year before, or the year before, or the year before. So I've got my Facebook thing, whatever it's called today, to see what's posted on this date, and there's nothing actually ever posted on this date. And I've been using Facebook, I think the first time I used it was, I was definitely on in 2010, 2009. Yeah, I was definitely on in 2008. I wasn't on in 2007. So 2008, every year up until today, which is actually yesterday now, because it's past 12 o'clock, I didn't have anything, I didn't post anything on my profile on this date any of the last 10 years. Now, I saw that somebody else had posted something on this date on my profile, but I hadn't posted a status on my profile, or put a picture up or video up or whatever, for 10 years. I found it quite interesting. I've actually been thinking that last few days when I've been looking at my, looking back a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever, and I've actually, I don't know, I find it interesting. But today it's like, we look at the gaps, what's the biggest gap? And I wondered, perhaps, well, what was I doing on that day? Or there have been other days where there's been 3 years in a row where I didn't post on that date. I thought, well, I wonder why I didn't. What was I doing? And sometimes I can work it out. But anyway, 10 years in a row. And yesterday, was the first time I posted a status on that date yesterday on my Facebook, and I find it really interesting. I mean, it's not something you can kind of predict doing. It's not something you probably forget. It's not something you can the only way you can do it, if you're going to remember it, is to do it by accident. So by accident, I've never posted on yesterday's date until yesterday. I haven't posted anything at all, let alone a status. 10 years in a row. considering how much I go on the internet, you know this, how much I go on there, I find it very, very surprising. That is a complete fluke. By the way, I really enjoyed the songs that you put on. I really appreciated those. I'm laying on the sofa here, and I really enjoyed those. It's a really good idea that you come up with the starter and message with like a song or two. And I've started doing it myself every now and again. And another idea is putting like podcast segments or little kind of snapshots of what's been said in different podcasts, which I've obviously got from you. Or did I do it first? I don't know, but I know it's something you've done and been done very well. It just made myself laugh. What I'm doing is I'm recording this message in a way that I've never done it before. I'm actually listening to your latest message and pausing it and then replying. Or well, what I usually do is I might make a few notes of things you've talked about, and then I'll record my message. It might be a day after, 2 days after, it might be the same day, and then I'll because otherwise I'll forget some of the things you might have mentioned, so it reminds me of what to speak about. But what I've done this time is I'm actually playing your message now, but it's paused, and I'm replying to something that you said. And what I was about to say is you said something in your message, and I had to stop myself from talking out loud because I think you said a TV show you were talking about. You said, have you ever seen it? You know this TV show? Have you ever seen it or something like that? And I was about to reply to you. I forgot. I thought we was having a conversation. I forgot I was listening to a voice message. I had to stop myself from moving my mouth. But I was about to go, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I'll stop myself. Anyway, I'm going to pause this and go back to my message now. Go back to your message and continue listening to what you're saying. Just listen to I've just paused it obviously. First of all, you're about to put some background music on, which by the way, for me it adds to the enjoyment of your messages. You put kind of like background music on, it's something that I actually enjoy your messages even more. Adds like enough kind of layer of enjoyment, and that's another good idea of yours. You've always been someone who comes up with great ideas. I was going to say, the job centre portion, I was just listening about the exercise you was talking about the younger girl of 19 and the 35-year-old with kids, and that exercise, and it sounds like quite interesting, quite enjoyable thing to do. And I think you said you'll hear something on Monday. Well, I hope you do hear something good on Monday. Wish luck with that. And myself, it's been quite a while since I've kind of been in a job centre. Obviously, the last couple of years I've been on the sick because I've been on sick for longer than that. The last couple of years, as you know, I've been a lot worse than I've been before. I've had IBS for 5 or 6 years, but the last 2 years, it's been really bad, and I haven't been able to walk far, and the whole story. So it's been a while since I don't remember the last time I went into a job centre. So these kind of things they ask you to do, take part in. I don't know how much has changed. The thing that you described that you went to, I didn't go to anything like that. We had these courses or you'd like, you'd go on a course for about a week or 2 weeks, and that was the thing I used to do, skiing, for want of a better word. Perhaps it is the right word. So I don't have like 1 week or 2 week like course type things, which I absolutely hated, because for me they serve no purpose at all, and I didn't benefit. Anyway, I was just kind of interested in kind of the stuff they do now. You know, what stuff they do now, what they don't do now, and you know, what you described sounded pretty interesting to me. And yeah, sounded pretty interesting. Very pleased to hear that your mum's at home. You said that she'd lost some weight, which I'm not surprised to hear. But I'm very happy to hear that she's at home, and she had a good kind of run there, didn't she? She had a good kind of good stay there, not sent home too early like she has been done in the past. So yeah, I'm very happy that she's home. And you said Victoria and your mum was, as you're recording your message, you're kind of having a tea or coffee or something in the living room. So I'm really happy that your mum's home, and I hope that she you know, she must really love being home, because I know when I was in hospital for a week, when I got home, it's like getting out of prison type of thing. And it's even if you still feel ill, you know, it's, you know, being home is really, really nice. So yeah, I hope your mum continues to kind of improve, and they keep an eye on it, and you know, I'm sure you'll let me know how she's doing. The next thing you talked about was the Confederate. It's easy for you to spell, to pronounce. Confederations Cup. Of course, I know all about it. You know, I used to watch it, every single match of like every big football tournament. And it is a special tournament because it's a year before the World Cup, and it really gets you kind of excited for in 12 months' time. I think kind of the last few days it's kind of started without me being aware. It's kind of caught me by surprise type of thing. I haven't, as you know, I haven't really been that interested in football recently. I'm not as interested in international football, not even a quarter as much as what I used to. For various different reasons that I've explained in other messages. But I did mention to you, or you might mention to me, a couple of months ago, when we were playing our game, we could maybe do it kind of in the summer with like, got the Copa America and you got the Confederations Cup. And I thought at the time they might be good ideas. And it's already started. Let me think about it. Let me think. I'll let you know if I want to do it or not. It's just, I think this week for me, recently, I've had my hands full mentally. There's obviously a lot been going on with care, as you know, and there's been a lot going on kind of with people who I care about needed me. And you know, a friend who's Tom, one of my best mates, he met a girl a few months ago, and I think they met for the first time recently. And he makes music. He does drum and bass, and the music he makes is amazing. I do enjoy going over there and witnessing him create and produce music and tracks, and some of his tracks are amazing, and he's really, really good. And anyway, so she had the same gift as him, and she's does like drum and bass. She's an MC, and he MCs, and he produces music as well. They met within the last few months, and she'd been over there, I don't know, once or twice recently, I think. Maybe, it might have been 3 times, I don't know. And they started to feel close, you know, like kind of best friends, but kind of getting a bit further than that. And they kind of said to themselves they're going to take things slowly. But there was something definitely growing there very special. Well, tragedy struck 1 week ago when she died. She died. She killed herself. She hung herself in some woods, and she's only 26. And she had so much musical talent. I've listened to some and watched some of the work that her and Tom have done, and they're amazing together. They're amazing on their own, but together they're great. And I think Tom had maybe have found the love of his life. Maybe, I don't know, but he definitely found his soulmate. And Tom, dear Tom, poor Tom. So I've had to be there for him the last week. I think for the first time in 14 years, I've known him for 14 years, right? For the first time in that time, he cried this week. He hadn't cried all that time. But this just come out of the blue last Saturday, a week ago. And it's such a big shock for him, because he grew so close to her in such a short amount of time, and he's poor. He's so heartbroken, and he's been crying this week, and he hasn't cried for the last 14 years. He's a very, very strong guy. So I had to try and be there for him this week. I've got a couple of other friends who haven't been too good. Another friend of mine has been in hospital, and she's got a terminal illness. She went to hospital, and it's touch and go, and she's come home. But to be honest, I don't know how long she'll be home for, and so I've had to be there for a few people, and I've been struggling a lot myself, as you know. You know, this is the hardest time of my life for myself. It's just as hard, if not more heartbreaking than even when my mum died. It's been harder than that, and that I don't say lightly at all. But not to go on too much about that, because I've done that already. Bottom line is, my mind has been very, very busy, and it is very busy. And so about football, I don't know how much interest I've got in doing that, but I probably will do it. I'll before I go to bed tonight, I'll have a look at the fixtures, what fixtures are yet to come, and we can kind of use the same rules as usual, and then we can work something out. But whatever, you know, we've missed the first lot of games, or first few games, so I'll let you know how I feel about that tomorrow. But what you should do, work on your predictions just in case I do want to do it. Work on your predictions, and then we will either do it or not do it. I think I probably will do it. So I'll look at the fixtures, and I'll see what's what. Right, I'm going to go back to your message. I'll speak to you in a bit, okay? Alright, bye. Okay, just got a bit to the bit of the message where you just asked how things are going with Kara, and I've kind of touched on that a little bit, didn't I, just now? But I've just basically asked how things going, and kind of, what the latest update is. Well, things are the same as they was when I left my last message. We've been getting on very well. We have been talking or communicating via email or on Messenger, or me sending voice messages. Our communication the last couple of weeks, we've done more communicating, opening up than what we have done since the end of last year. So our communication right now is very, very good, and we're getting on very, very well. I would say this week I have dealt with the heartbreak better than what I have done in a good few weeks. I'd say this week and last week. More so this week, I've dealt with the heartbreak, and I think part of the reason for that, no coincidence that I've been getting on so well with Claire and speaking to her a lot, and she's been telling me how much she loves me. I'm the love of her life, and she's been, more or less confirming that relationship that she's in is a band-aid relationship, and she says she doesn't really know if it will last, and I don't think it will last. I don't think relationships that are built on heartbreak from a previous relationship can last. I think you have to get to a place where you're ready. I think what Kara should be doing, she should either be in a relationship with me, or she should be single until she's ready for a relationship. That's the two options that she should be looking at. For myself, my options are a bit different. I should not be looking for a relationship with Kara because it can't work out long term. At least that is how I feel right now. Although every fibre of my body, wants me to get back with her, and I did, of course, attempt to. About a month ago when I found out about her being with someone, I told you that I attempted to. But I think the options I've got at the moment is either I speak to her or I don't speak to her. Both options are extremely hard. Having said that, this week it's been my best week, really, heartbreak wise, for a few months. But at the same time, it's because we've said an awful lot to each other, but we've already said, we don't need to kind of keep repeating what we've said this week. So that's not going to be said next week or the week after. So probably I'll go back to kind of being more heartbroken again. But it did hit me last night, and it has done today. The heartbreak has suddenly come back. So I think I was handling things well this week, and it's more like my normal self. But I think last night hit me, and it has hit me today. It's continued. So at the moment, I'm giving her a couple of days. Sometimes if it's still a weekend, and I'll give her like a couple of days space. Just out of respect, really, because I don't want to come on too strong to her. I know our circumstances have changed, and I'm trying to train myself to be used to going days without interactions with her. I've been trying to speak to her for a few days and not, and then so I'm trying to do it for my benefit, I'm trying to do it for her benefit as well. And I understand that she's got something going on now, and in a way I'm trying to respect that, even though I hate the fact that she's even near another male. But as a part of me, it's trying to respect that. The weekends here, she's got free time off. She might be wanting to spend some of that time with someone. So a part of me is trying to respect that, but it's the hardest thing in the world. So I think my latest long email to her I sent 2 days ago, and she said she's going to read it and she's going to send one back. So she's already sent one back, but I'm not going to read it till early next week. Because I like to read it and then reply to it straight away. I don't want to reply to her that over the weekend when she might be busy. She might be busy with her kids, you know. So I'll leave it till Monday or Tuesday. I'll read her email. What we do is we communicate by email, but on Facebook at the same time. On Facebook, it's more kind of like chit chat, but the emails are really deep kind of stuff, like I love you and you love my life, and you know, we go really deep with the emails, but we save the kind of day-to-day kind of trivial chat for Facebook each day. So that's kind of a pattern we've got into. But I've given a complete break for the weekend. I haven't told her this, I've just done this myself, and I'll get back to speaking to her probably Monday or Tuesday, or Monday, and I'll read the email Monday or Tuesday. I reply. In fact, I don't want to read the email on Monday and reply because I'm really excited about Money in the Bank, as you know, and I want to I don't want to be reading an emotional email and replying emotionally, and I want to really enjoy this Money in the Bank because it is one of my highlights of every year. One of my highlights is the Money in the Bank, and it has become one of the most important wrestling nights of the whole year. It's one of the big four or big five. It's more important than Survivor Series is a big event, it's got a lot of history. But I'd say the Money in the Bank has kind of gone above that now. Only WrestleMania and Rumble, I'd say, are kind of more important. You know, so I really want to and I've been enjoying the build up. I really want to really enjoy it to the fullest on Monday or Tuesday. So I don't want to get too emotional before that. So I might leave the carer email till Tuesday after Money in the Bank. So that's how many things I've been carer. And I forgot what else you said. You said something else I was going to reply to. I don't know if you asked about my health, but I think I've already, my email last few days ago, I probably did mention my health. My health is pretty much the same. I'm eating the same amount, I'm the same weight. I had some healing the other day. Did I mention this? I had my healing with Ray. Paul rather. Well, he's Ray and Paul, as you know. I went to see them on, was it Thursday? I think it's Thursday, I had my appointment. And I had my healing session, and I sat down with a good chat beforehand and had a laugh. And I spoke about kind of what's been going on the last month with my stomach, and we had a chat. And then I laid down on the hospital bed, and he obviously he done his stuff that he does. It's painful. I always have the same response, Kenneth. I always have the same response when he's treating me. It's painful, but my reaction is to laugh. I laugh. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, you know, when it's not a bad thing for me, but you know when you in a really bad run of bad luck, and then you just laugh at it. It's a similar reaction to that. I laugh. It's like when you've been tickled. So he done his treatment, and then they had some healing of some Reiki healers, and he tells them what kind of type of healing for them perhaps 4 to 5 people of them kind of around me on another hospital bed, and they're doing the recce healing. I know you're not into all of that. I know you obviously, you know, it stands against the kind of stuff that you believe in. No, I understand that. I understand you probably warned me, but you have warned me about it in the past. I understand that. And I've warned you about kind of stuff you believe in or consider yourself to know or know, you know. But we both know each other's opinions on kind of, or, you know, on all of that, so we don't need to go into all of that. But I understand your kind of opinions and what you're probably thinking right now as I speak about my healing sessions. But anyway, so I had that done on Thursday. I had my vitamin. I have a vitamin B12 shot in my arm, in my shoulder, every 3 months. What that does is, it's like it gives you energy, and it's like being topped up. It's like on my phone, it needs to be topped up, and I get topped up every 3 months with vitamin B12 injection into my muscle, shoulder muscle. It's painful, but it's worth it. So I had that done, and I think for the last week I've had extra energy, because obviously I'm not eating enough food, I'm not getting enough vitamins and minerals in me because my stomach can't process much. So there was talk of me getting a drip like once a month of iron put into me or something. So I get that put into me maybe once a month, once in 2 months, instead of having tablets, because tablets obviously it's going to aggravate my stomach. So there's been talk of that as well. So I think physically, although I'm in bad shape physically, and I can't really do a hell of a lot of walking, as you know, I can't walk miles, but you know, this week I have been able to do more walking, and physically I have felt stronger, and I felt like I've got more, I can go for longer, and so jab I think's really done a good job for me. Sometimes it might last a few weeks, but sometimes it only lasts a week and then I've got to wait 3 months again. I wish I could have it every weekend if I do, but they say that I don't need it. They say, you know, that it's like if it's a tank, it's filled up and it's not going to need any more filling up for 3 months. So, but this week physically, yeah, I felt good for someone who's in bad shape. So that's kind of the news as far as that goes. The only other news really, I mean, I've told you about my health and carer situation, and obviously about what I'm dealing with some friends who are not too good. Obviously, you know, I've been obsessing over wrestling and the Money in the Bank, the build up to that. I've been listening to so many wrestling podcasts, you know, and I think my excitement for wrestling is as high as it was. You know how into it was last year. I think it's just as high as it was this year as it was last year. Just as interesting. So another thing I've done is that it's been a while since I've watched any films, because for the last 3 years me and Care have been watching films together. So it's been a while since I've watched films, but I've done a list of like 15 films that I need to catch up with everybody else on films. So I've got a list of films to download and to watch. I'm looking forward to going through them. I'm trying out new shows, because a lot of my shows have kind of ended for the season. So I'm trying out new science fiction shows. I'm really looking forward to the American Big Brother that starts at the end of the month. I'm so excited about that. I'm enjoying Survivor. I've obviously talked about that show before. I'm enjoying Survivor at the moment, but that's coming to an end. So I'm looking for some replacement shows. I did try the UK Big Brother out, but to be honest, I can't be bothered with it. It's on once a day and it's just too much to keep up with. It's not half as good as the American and Canadian Big Brother, which are the same. they're two different shows, but they're the same format, and it's it's just too much to keep up with, and it's just not as good. When Celebrity Big Brother comes on in August, I will watch it. Because I always watch it, and there's big rumours that Hulk Hogan is going to be in it. They've been trying to get him on it for the last 2 years, but then now they've offered him a bigger amount of money, and it seems like there's a good chance Hogan's going to be in it. So I always watch it anyway, but I'll look forward to even more so with Hogan in there. Hopefully he will be, brother. What else has been going on? I haven't really spent a lot of time around people, which I think is another thing that I need to do to help deal with this carer situation. I need to spend time with other people more. I've been missing my family, Kenneth, to be honest, because the carer thing has felt just like when my mum died, as far as how heartbroken I've been. But when my mum passed away, I had all this support. I had all this family around me that have now died. I've lost 10 to 15 people who are very close to me since my mum died. Most of them family, a few of them friends, but mostly family. And of course pets, because they're family to me as well. Because that probably brings up some higher than 15. I don't have that same support as I had before, so I am missing family members and that support that I had before. So that's been another thing that's been going through my mind maybe. I know I've got you, you're fantastic, and you're always there for me, and you bring a lot of fun to my life, and you're an extremely important person to me, and even if you wasn't, I think you're an extremely, you're a great person, human being. I'd say that regardless. So, I was about to say something else, but I forgot what it is. Yes, John. John hasn't been down to see me in about 3 months. I think. No, wait a minute. Is it 3 months? No, it's not 3 months. It's about 2.5 months because it was around WrestleMania time. So that's not always easy for me to deal with because I used to see John once a week. In the past, it wasn't so much of a big deal because I had a lot of family around me. And then I had less family, and then I had less, but it wasn't such a big deal because I still had a couple left, and then Sonny passed away, and then Noah passed away, and suddenly I effectively only had John and Al. But Al has moved to America. Well, he'll be moving back here, but he's been in America the last few years, so only close family I've really got, is John. But John hasn't been here for the last 2.5 months. So that's not an easy thing for me to deal with sometimes. But there's times where I felt anger. And if you remember, he'd done this 2 years ago. You remember 2 years ago when he went months and months. So I think back then I responded in maybe the wrong way. Back then he found it. I mean, I know why he hasn't been down in a while. Because it's too hard for him to see me how I am. And me being kind of how ill I've been. He's lost a lot of people. He's lost the same people as what I've lost. And it affects people differently. And so he doesn't, it's hard for him to deal with people suffering and being ill. And I understand that. and that's why I'm cool with it, and I haven't responded how I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you know what I was like. I was really upset with him. I done a YouTube video, and I showed you the YouTube video that I sent to John, and I was really angry with him. I thought it was really disgusting, but it wasn't. It wasn't. You know, it's because I was suffering so much, and I'm suffering so much now. But I'm at a place now, even though I'm suffering, I'm able to kind of go, okay, it's too hard for him. I understand. You know, he'll still come and see me, just less often, and it doesn't mean that I mean any less to him. I'm just as important to him as I've always been, and I understand, and I know that John has had a hard year. You know, on the surface, you know, on YouTube, on Facebook, you know, he's put up pictures and he looks happy, but he's not happy. John has had a very hard 12 months, and I know things haven't been right with him. So he's got he knows the best way to look after himself and to cope with things. And part of that is kind of not being around me because it makes him upset. And I understand that, and it's cool. It is really cool. But I still wait for it. Whenever Monday comes around, I kind of think, okay, is this the Monday where John is going to turn up? And then he doesn't, and I get mad. And then I get over it. I get over it. 2 years ago, the way I reacted, I got mad, and I said something to him. I sent him letters, I sent him videos, I sent messages to his girlfriend, I sent messages to his friends, but I've done any of that this time, and I'm not going to. The way I responded then was right for then, because that's how I needed to respond then, but now I don't feel I need to respond, because it's not going to solve anything. It's just going to make him go longer without coming here again, you know, and I don't want him to have any kind of resentment. I don't want him to feel that I'm angry with him. I want him to think that everything's cool with me, it's fine. I've actually bought him a couple of presents for when he does turn up. I bought him a boxing DVD. He's as into boxing as I am wrestling, so I've got him a boxing DVD and a big bar of Galaxy, really big one. So when he next turns up, I've got him a couple of treats. And he's probably worried about turning up. He probably feels bad. He probably thinks I'm going to have a go at him, but I'm not going to have a go at him. I'm not. And I'm going to be really cool to him when he next. He's probably putting off coming here because he thinks there's going to be an argument or a debate, but there's not going to be. And when he gets here, he'll know that, and he'll probably come back again soon after, maybe a couple of weeks after that. So that's my relationship with John. Yeah, so that's kind of everything that's going on at the moment in my life. It's 1 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to go to bed probably in a few hours. I've got some wrestling to watch. I'm even watching bits of TNA now, Impact Wrestling rather, it's called now. That's how much I'm into my wrestling. So I've got a few things to watch. I've got Doctor Who. That's really helped me the last couple of months, is Doctor Who. I'm obsessed with it, so I've got Doctor Who Saturday night. So I've got a few things to watch. I'm going to go for a walk at some point. I'm going to get some food in me. And so that's what I'm going to be up to, and I'm going to take things slow and steady. And play my game Farmville, which I've been playing Farmville for a whole year now. I'm addicted to it, and I'm just so addicted to it, and I get a lot of pleasure out of that. That helps take my mind off things. So I've been playing Farmville today, and I'm going to play some more Farmville. Anyway, Kenneth, I'll let you know about the Confederations Cup. Maybe we might start on Monday onwards. If I do, I'll just have a think about it. I've got a lot of other things to think about as well, as you know. But I'll let you know about that. We'll work something out. And of course, you mentioned about the Alphabet album. Do that at your own pace. If you need me to find the links again, I'll find the links again for you to listen to the album. Because there's different links to that album that have not got the right tracks on. Some have got too many tracks, and some have got not enough tracks. So I know what links have the right version of the album, and so I can get those for you. If you want me to, let me know, and I will do. And then we can carry on with the next kind of stage of the album review thing. Right, I'm going to go now. I hope you have a good day when you listen to this, and tell your mum that I send my regards and hope she's doing well and or doing better. And I'll speak to you very soon, Kenneth, okay? Thanks for the message, it's a help, and even if it wasn't a help, it's definitely a big enjoyment, and it always brightens up my day. So thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you later. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm not gone yet, this is an encore. I actually made a mistake. I actually paused your message, and I actually my throat's a bit gravelly. Must be the weather. It's so humid. I hadn't actually finished listening to your message. I paused it near the end, and I've just listened to a bit more of it. You was talking about that guy who you sent, who sung that cover. You said you're going to send some more songs that he's done. I'd really enjoy that, because I think he's got a great voice. Like I say, he reminds me of a younger James Lawler, and that was a really great video. So yeah, post me some more. Another thing I'd like to do, I'm behind on listening to catching up on all the songs on the Facebook favourite songs page. I do like kind of catching up and listening to the songs and saying what I thought of them. So I've got a lot of catching up to do there, a lot of songs. So I look forward to doing that, maybe tomorrow. We've just got to the bit of the message where you've mentioned wrestling, and you said you think there's a pay-per-view this weekend. Straight away I thought in my mind, no, there's not a pay-per-view this weekend. But there is a pay-per-view this weekend. This heat, I'll tell you what, this heat has affected my thinking. There's Money in the Bank, of course, I've already talked about it in this message. So yeah, Money in the Bank is this weekend, and obviously the Raw pay-per-view, which is in 4 weeks time, I think, with Joe v Lesnar. That'll be in 3 or 4 weeks time, I don't know. So that's coming up. I think, as I yawn, and there's only 2 more pay-per-views before SummerSlam. You obviously got Money in the Bank this Sunday, which I kind of, this time of year, I kind of liken to the start of the year. You've got 2 major pay-per-views really close to each other. You've got a Royal Rumble and you've got WrestleMania, and it's like the Royal Rumble is like a platform to build up to a slightly bigger platform than WrestleMania, but they're both majors. And so at this time of year, in the summer, you've got 2 majors. You've got, so it kicks off with Money in the Bank and then you got a bigger, slightly bigger major after that with SummerSlam. So they're like the two summertime major pay-per-views. But there is only one in between, which will be the Raw pay-per-view in a few weeks' time, which will feel like a major pay-per-view because it's got a dream match on. Obviously, I mean, everybody's going on about Lesnar and Joe, and I've been listening to all these podcasts about what people have been thinking of the first segment 2 weeks ago on Raw and the second segment from this week, and people are just really raving about it, how it's been done, and because, you know, WWE in the past have really mucked up big feuds when there's been an opportunity to do something really special and they've mucked it up, and people are more worried they're going to do it with this because there's only going to be one chance to do this. Okay, there might be a series of matches, but it's only going to be one kind of series, you know, so, or maybe one match, I don't know. But anyway, so I think everyone, this is the thing what people are most excited about at the moment in wrestling. Besides that, people are really excited about Money in the Bank. I've been listening to a lot of, not only podcasts with experts, but fan-made kind of videos on YouTube of what fans think about, what they're excited about, and everybody's just really, really excited about Money in the Bank. Some of them have got Money in the Bank in their top 3 favourite pay-per-views of the year, and they're doing their predictions, and so I've been getting fans' perspective as well as experts' perspective. So that's not something I kind of used to do, but I'm doing it now. I'm getting the fans' perspective as well, and they're really looking forward to Money in the Bank. But I think Lesnar Joe is kind of like the way people are going on about it. In a way, it feels to me, it very much feels like. Obviously Goldberg, Lesnar. It's got that Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, WrestleMania feel about it. It's got that. It's got like a Rock Hogan, not Rock. I was gonna say Rock Austin kind of vibe to it. And their WrestleMania matches, you know, it seems real because you see, of course, Brock Lesnar's got a really realistic style because he's got mixed martial arts background, wrestling background. So, you know, we see Brock Lesnar, he's very believable, and stuff that he does, you know, is real. You know, he's the real deal. People seen what done to Randy Orton and way bloodied and busted up. Cena come back, and he's got a very realistic, stiff style, which makes his matches, when they're booked right, seem real. And that is why it's such an exciting match, because there's very few people like that, but Joe is one of them. When you watch a Samoa Joe match over the last 10 years, whether it's been TNA, Ring of Honor, NXT, he's got a very, very realistic, stiff style. You know, he really lays it in hard, and he has got like a mixed martial arts background as well. You know, there's 2 or 3 disciplines that he's well trained in. So he's got a very kind of, you know, he's a real life tough guy like Brock, and he's the type of guy that can take a lot of punishment for real, just like Brock can, and they've really built this up in a realistic way, and you just know on the night that they're going to lay it in for real, and it's going to be something that we don't see that often. And also, like I say, there's not many dream matches left, or not many dream matches left that we haven't seen. And people are really, really excited about this, and I'm really excited about it. I've listened to podcasts of people talking about this as a dream match up to like 10 years ago. And people never thought it was going to happen, but now it is. There's a part of me that I can't believe it's actually going to happen. I can't believe it's going to happen. There's a part of me that can't believe it's actually happening. It's like Rock against Hogan. Nobody thought that was ever going to happen. But it did. And this is, the same type of thing. And a lot of the fans, a lot of the marks are really into it, but a lot of the insiders are just as excited about it. It's like the insiders and the smarts. They kind of act like marks. It's anyway. So that's the most exciting thing going on now. It's like Mayweather against Pacquiao, or Mayweather against McGregor. It's like Serena Williams against Steffi Graf. But that is, I don't want that match to happen yet. It's 4 weeks away. I'm really enjoying the build, and they've done a great job so far, and I can't wait till Monday. But, I'm in no rush for the match to be here because I'm enjoying the build. And so that'll be in about a month. And of course, Sunday is, of course, a special pay-per-view that's got a lot of history to it. And you kind of wonder what's going to happen this year. You've got 5 matches that are all very interesting and very intriguing. Of course, 2 of them are the Money in the Bank matches themselves, always up there with some of the best matches of the year. Sometimes, like I say, some of the best matches ever have been Money in the Bank matches. Certainly. I can pick 1 or 2 out that's up there. And I think, I know you're not too interested, but there's a lot of people excited about the women's Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank match. It being the first ever. People are really excited about it, and they're really enthusiastic about it. And there's a lot of feel-good factor going into this match from the fans, from a wrestling perspective, because some of the fans are mainly interested out of the women, it's the wrestling, and people are wondering what it's going to look like. Would it be different? And I think when they had the Hell in a Cell, and when they had the first ever Iron Woman match, they turned out to be every bit as well received by the fans and experts as men's Hell in a Cells or Iron Woman matches, or so. And actually, the Iron Man match is what they called it, between Sasha Banks and Charlotte last year. That was one of the best matches I ever saw, and I put that right in there with any. That is better than most of the Iron Man matches that I've ever seen, and so they've been putting these different types of matches for the first time ever, and they've delivered. And it's not me saying that, it's the fans and it's the experts saying that, and me kind of agreeing. And I know it's not your cup of tea, and I appreciate that, but I'm just kind of letting you know what's going on at the moment, and kind of what fans are into and what they're looking forward to. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to that women's Money in the Bank match. And of course the men's Money in the Bank match, you've got AJ Styles, you've got Nakamura. Dolph Ziggler has just had arguably his best ever year. If he wins it, he's the second person in history to win it twice. That is history. And that's why Money in the Bank feels special, because it's historic. And you've got Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin has been right on the edge of pushing into that world title picture. He's made a lot of progress over the last year, and Sami Zayn has as well. Sami Zayn is probably the fans. I think the fans really want. It's hard to say the fans are going to want to win if they had to pick one. I'm hearing different things, but a lot of fans have been very happy if Sami Zayn won it, and I think I could see Sami Zayn winning it. But my pick is Baron Corbin. I think it's the perfect choice because AJ Styles and Nakamura, they're going to be in the main event picture now and going forward anyway. You know, they're in the main event. They're main eventers anyway. They're in that picture anyway. Sami Zayn isn't, and Corbin isn't quite. So, and also they're building up Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. They're building them up for WrestleMania. You know, they've started building that up already and doing the early stages of that match for WrestleMania. So Nakamura and AJ Styles, you know, so they start that build up. So it's unlikely that one of them wins it. Well, actually, one of them could win the Money in the Bank, cash it in, become champion, because it makes sense for one of them to be the champion at Money in the Bank. So, yeah, maybe AJ Styles could win Money in the Bank and he defends against Nakamura at Mania. Or maybe Nakamura wins Money in the Bank, he defends against AJ. So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think any of the people in this match can win it. And it's very similar in the women's match as well. You know, any of them, there's a case for any of them to win it. So, you've got those matches, you've got the two world title matches, and you've got the tag team match between the longest reigning champions of all time, New Day against the Usos, who of course been the best tag team over the last 7 years. If you take the last 7 years over as one chunk, the Usos are the best team over that period, champions 3 times, and now they've reinvented themselves, and this is a bit of a kind of a fantasy match now, you know, because New Day have kind of gone down in history now, and Usos, you know, they're future Hall of Famers, and together for the first time in a match, it's big, it's very, very big. And Naomi against Lana is a match that a lot of people are talking about and is very intriguing. But I won't bore you too much about that because I know you're not into it. But Randy Orton against Jinder Mahal, very, very interesting match. It is the rematch from when Jinder won the title, and it's a match that's got a lot of intrigue around it, and there's a lot of talk about hometown curse, because Randy Orton, it was going to be in Randy Orton's hometown. Quite often, you know, people in a hometown lose, and they call it the hometown curse. But they might go against that to surprise people, and that's what they've been doing all throughout this era, surprising people. But surprising people in a good way that makes sense, not surprising people for the sake of it. So, Randy Orton winning a title in his hometown would make sense, and I'd love him to be a champion for what, 15th time? He's going to be one behind Cena and Flair, so I like him to win it, but I very much enjoyed Jinder Mahal's development into a main eventer. He looks the part. He presented like a champion. He comes across as a champion, and you know, and if he can beat Orton 2 times in a row, then I think they might have created the next big main eventer. And I think he would defend the title against Cena, maybe at SummerSlam. Cena is back. Cena hasn't. is that he's been away since Mania, but Cena will be back on July the 4th, Independence Day, and he has got an announcement. He's a free agent. His contract has expired, so he can go to Raw, he can stay on SmackDown. But people think he'll stay on SmackDown and he'll challenge Jinder. And that will help elevate Jinder. Even if Jinder loses the belt, that will still help elevate Jinder. In other wrestling news, the Hardy Boys lost the tag team titles to Sheamus and Cesaro, who have matured and developed into a really great tag team over last year. And it's very organic, it's very natural. It's like they were meant to be tag team partners. So Hardy or Broken Hardy Brothers, because it's the thing, they're still trying to get the rights for the Broken Hardy Boys gimmick. WWE have been and the Hardys have been in contact with Impact Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling has said, you know, you can have these gimmicks, you can have this, everything that comes with these gimmicks, but they want to sell it. But WWE don't want to purchase, don't want to pay money for it. It's not that they don't think it's worth it, because there's so much merchandise that could be made of it and has been made out of it. WWE does not want to be seen like begging or buying something off a lesser wrestling company. So I think, you know, the Hardys have been going to court and they're trying to win the rights for the gimmick, and this week it seemed evident that it's inevitable that they're going to get the rights, because they had a special on this week on the WWE Network. It was a sit down with the Hardys. It was half an hour special. It was an honest conversation and it was really great. They spoke about the Broken Hardys gimmick and how they reinvented themselves and how they kind of helped redefine wrestling and how big it got and how it transcended different promotions and this concept that they created. And they said, you know, we'll definitely, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the thing is that even though it's been 5 months since they last used a gimmick in Impact, every night they go out there on Raw and every pay-per-view, all the fans are all chanting different chants or references that relate to the Broken Hardys gimmick. You know, fans at every show, they're chanting for it, you know. And Matt Hardy he's speaking like Broken Matt Hardy, but only like 20% out of 100, because for legal reasons he can't overstep the mark. But he's doing enough to keep the momentum going, and he's got the same, well, kind of got the same look, but the fans really, really want it, and apparently it's only a matter of time now before it happens, and it's going to be something that Matt Hardy says is going to be one of the most exciting things to ever happen in the WWE, or one of the most exciting things ever in the years to happen in WWE. And he said that during the interview, and obviously Jeff Hardy is really excited about, you know, them getting to do it in WWE. So the fans want it, WWE want it, and of course the Hardys want it. Apparently it's only a matter of time before it happens, and hopefully it's a matter of weeks, and I'm very, very excited about that starting up. Besides that, NXT has been rebuilt to the point where it is now once again better than Raw and maybe better than SmackDown as well. For a good year and a half it was the best brand and they had the best pay-per-views. Then of course they had the new era which started last year, and it took a lot of that talent from NXT and put a load on Raw and SmackDown. And the year before, of course, they lost, you know, Charlotte and the women from the Divas Revolution, and they lost different other people. And so they had to rebuild again. But now they've rebuilt again, and it's packed full of great talent from around the world, from the past, and from the future. Will be future stars. And NXT right now is way better than Raw. It is way better than Raw. And it's every bit as, if not better than SmackDown. And it is just a hardcore wrestling fan wrestling show. You know, it really is. I mean, their pay-per-views are always like a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's... Anyway, so they're rebuilt and they're back to where they were, which is much better than Raw, even though I do like Raw a lot, but it's not on the same level as NXT. There's loads and loads of other things to talk about Wrestling Rise, but I'll be here for 5 hours, and I know you're not that into it right now. But besides that, Asuka has continued the streak. Obviously, a few weeks ago, she surpassed Goldberg's streak. Only the difference is with Goldberg's streak, a number of those numbers matches didn't even happen. It was a fake streak. But Asuka, you know, the streak is still going, and they've built up the division now where it's back to where it was when Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Bayley, and you know, when they had a really great division. So I think Asuka will probably. I mean, she won't come up. It won't be year 3 of the new era, which will kick off after WrestleMania next year. I think Asuka should be moved up or across. I think this year. The thing I wonder, does the streak end before she moves? Is it better for her to move over with that streak intact? Because the thing is, Kenneth, right? She's got to lose the NXT title. I mean, Paige was the first ever NXT champion, and Paige joined Raw and won the women's championship on her first night. She actually had both the championships, but then she had to give up the NXT championship. I wonder if Asuka will do that. I wonder if she'll come as the champion, or I wonder if she'll forfeit it and then come. The thing is, I don't want the streak to end, but I wouldn't want her to see the title devalued by the next champion only being champion because Asuka gave the championship up. You know, I want to see her beaten. And they've built the division up now, like I say. They've got some other females on her level now. They've got some other females on her level or very, very close to her. So I'd like to see the title passed on. But in a way, I'd like to see her move to kind of SmackDown undefeated. But I have to see what happens anyway. Anyway, that's wrestling. I was only going to go on for like a couple of minutes, but I think I've done 2 hours. I'm finally going to go now. Right, I'll end on a football note. Obviously, I'm not really paying too much attention to transfer news. But obviously, you know, on YouTube, I subscribe to the Redmen TV, and it's something that I watch during the course of the season. Obviously, when I go onto YouTube, which I do every day, their latest videos come up. There's loads of things I've subscribed to, and that was one of them. And different videos that they've posted come up. Liverpool have been trying to get their hands on Mohamed Salah, and I think they've had a couple of bids, and I think the latest bid is around 35 million. So they're trying to get that sealed. It seems like it's only a matter of time. They've just got to agree on a price. And again, like you said, it's, you know, you have to pay too much for players these days. I mean, Mohamed Salah is a wonderful player. Liverpool tried to sign him a couple of years ago, and I was really disappointed because wow, I didn't know too much about him at the time, but once I did, his nickname was the Egyptian Messi, and wow, he is a fantastic dribbler, an attacking player, and he would fit perfectly into that Liverpool team. He's a Brendan Rodgers player, he's a Klopp player, but he's a really, really dangerous attacking player. So I hope Liverpool get that sealed. I don't think he's worth 35 or 40 million, but by the going rate. But then again, what is the going rate these days? The going rate is to pay over the odds. I mean, I'd say he's certainly worth 20 million. He's worth 22, 23 million. Maybe. But 35, 40, no. Anyway, Liverpool trying to seal that deal up. Besides that, I don't really know too much about signings, about who's bought who. There's probably not been too many big signings, otherwise I would have heard. About it. You mentioned that Celtic made a signing or two. I think the challenge now for Rodgers is, obviously he's got to make the squad. He's got to improve the squad because of more competitions, being in Europe, and then battling on 4 fronts at once. I think he wants to improve the squad and improve the team. So I hope we get some good players in, and Celtic have another great season next year. I'd love to see them do really well in Europe. I think that would be fantastic if they done well in Europe. Gave a good account of themselves. It's interesting because thinking of Liverpool and Celtic in the Champions League, and then you've got Manchester United, you've got so many British teams, and you think of them and you think, there's a lot of teams in there. And I remember a decade ago, British teams used to consistently do the best. We used to be at least, 2 British teams, mainly English teams, get to a quarter final every year. You'd have like Liverpool and Chelsea, or Liverpool will consistently get quarter final onwards. of course Chelsea and United and then Arsenal got to a final, and I think City might have had one good year. It's probably the only good year they've ever had, because they've never done well in Champions League. But it'd be good to see things go back to how they were 10 years ago. So there'd be a lot of English and British teams in Europe, and I hope as many of them do as well as possible. Right, so I've ended on a football note. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do, because I already said what I'm going to do when I thought I was finished the first time, but now I've to add another half an hour to it. So anyway, so this has been an interesting way of doing this message. I've listened to your latest message and recorded this message at the same time. It's actually been quite good. It's actually been quite good. I think I'll do that again. Right. Yeah, I've talked about everything. Okay, right. I'll speak to you tomorrow, or today when you listen to this. Right, bye.